Man, welcome to the Open Tap Podcast. My name is Mo. Welcome back. We appreciate y'all tuning in once again. It's always a good time. And yeah, we're just gonna get started today. We are gonna actually, you know what? First, actually, how was your weekend, man? How was St. Patty's Day down there in Savannah? How'd it go?
Yeah, Savannah was a good time. It was definitely one of the best outdoor events I'd probably say I've been to. They
Okay.
take St. Patty's Day pretty serious down there in Savannah, so it was pretty cool. Got to see Conor McGregor roaming the streets, so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool as well.
Mm-hmm. Did you take a peek at? Was he having fun? Did he seem like he having a good time or whatever?
Oh yeah, it looked like he was having a great time. He seemed
Yeah.
very passionate about his Irish heritage. So
Yeah. Proper 12.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's some crazy videos of him out there.
Okay, bet I'm gonna have to go find me one of those.
What about you? You
But
get into anything this weekend?
not much, not much. I had a friend birthday, and before that, just working and bought me some Drake tickets. It's a blur. If you didn't know he had a tour coming, now you know. You need to go get you a ticket because it's gonna be crazy. On his on like the logo or whatever for his tour, it's a blur. It's basically blurring all of his pictures, all from him being super young to him now, and so basically everybody knows that he's going to be playing everything from all the way from the Take Care album, pre-Take Care, all that stuff. So it is going to be crazy,
No.
and I can't wait. Yeah, it's my first concert too, so I wanted to be like that. I didn't want to go no like random or something that wasn't lit for my first concert. So this is gonna be it. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna go to the one in Nashville because I'll be out of town for the one in Atlanta. So I'm going to Nashville and we're gonna have a great time.
About this summer?
Yeah, it's gonna be in June. Actually, no, it's gonna be late July. Late July is the one in Nashville. It's gonna be amazing. And plus, I expect he's going to do something crazy for Tennessee because I think his dad side of his family is from Tennessee or something like that. Yeah, I think so. And so, yeah, it's going to be wild. Can't wait for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for you.
But yeah, let's get back to it, man. I was thinking about this one for a while. It's called The Breakdown. I see so many things on social media and so many things on Reels and YouTube that maybe we can't portray, but or maybe something that we want to talk about even more, or talk about even in depth, even more, or shed some light on, or break it down. So this is called The Breakdown. This is going to be where we bring those clips, 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes. We'll make it too long or too short, but if it is something important, we'll put it out there. So this clip is going to be up to 2 minutes. This is one of my favorite people of all time, Mr. David Goggins. He is the GOAT. If you don't know, now you know.
He gets a shout out every podcast.
Oh, for sure. We have to do him justice. He's literally insane, but he's insane in the good way, in the good real human being to human being way. So so we're gonna pull up the clip. It's gonna be about 2 minutes. Y'all stick with us. After the clip is done playing, we're gonna break it all down. So this is The Breakdown. Here we go.
So many of us come from these small places in our mind that we're not willing to think outside of only what we've seen. Our mind works in such a small compartment. And one thing I was able to do was to dream. Many people, but don't make dreams your fucking master. But I was able to dream outside those fucking four walls of that small town. And until you're able to really put yourself into that dream, but don't make dreams your master, that's where you truly become what you're destined to become.
What do you mean, don't make dreams your master?
A lot of people sit back and they dream about being a sports figure, or dream about being a SEAL, or dream about being an astronaut. And all it is a motherfucking dream. They don't put the work behind the dream. That dream has become their fucking master. When you become the master of your fucking dream is when you say, I want to go be a Navy SEAL. And you say, okay, I'm going to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 fucking months. The dream was the one thing I thought about, and the dream was now gone. Now, what comes in, the dream goes away, and the fucking laundry list of fucking details and tasks come up. Gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. You become the master of your dream. So, a lot of people out there dreaming.
Ryan Holiday says, talking about the thing and doing the thing vie for the same resources. Allocate yours appropriately.
That's it. That's it.
That's the way it works as well. That's the way that the brain works. You can actually get these kicks of dopamine by telling your friends about, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. I'm going to start my training next week. It's going to be great. I'm going to feel like this.
It feels good. It feels good to talk about that shit, man. It actually makes you feel good, makes you feel proud, all that shit. But guess what happens? That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. to train. I don't want to be a SEAL today. I don't want to be whatever today. I'll start tomorrow. And that's the usual pattern of people's lives. That's why I talk about clearing out the mind. Until you really want to do something, you always get be a talker. You always get run your fucking mouth.
This episode is brought to you by
Yeah, good stuff. What are your first couple thoughts after hearing that?
My first couple thoughts is just the small places in our minds. That's initially what hit me at first, because I've always been a small town kid. Grew up in a small town just outside of Atlanta. And I really liked that homey type of comfortable environment, and so that really hits home for me. And I see it in a lot of people I know. They come from small towns as well, especially when you come from those small pockets of towns and cities outside of Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. You really get that small time, and people like to shy away from what they really want to do, what they really want to dream about. They shy away from it because they've only seen so much. And so for you to find people that actually have real dreams and real aspirations, it's hard to find those people, because most of those people have shied away from that. They've allowed, especially when coming from college, you go from middle school to high school, you go elementary school, middle school, high school. And it just seems like as you get from station to station in your life, especially in college, you allow the world to take your dreams from you, and you allow the world to tell you what you should do, and allow you to have an impact on you that shouldn't really be there. You should always have your dreams, and you should always chase after your dreams, and you have to dream big. You can't dream small. What was that quote? You have to aim for the moon, and if you fall short, something like that. I don't know the exact quote, but yeah, that's what I think about when I hear the very beginning of this, just the whole dreams part. People allow the world to tell them what they should do instead of dreaming outside the box, dreaming big and aiming big, for sure.
Yeah, that quote I'm not sure what the quote is you were trying to think of, but the little piece you did give me of it reminded me of when I read the 10X book by Grant Cardone. It's kind of main thing was talking about how, like, you want to shoot for 10 times higher than what you think is an achievable goal, because even if you fall short, like, you'll probably still like 2x, 3x, 4x your original goal that you probably would have set, that you were like deeming realistic. So like if you shoot your goal, way higher than you thought you could achieve and you fall short, you're still probably better off. But I really liked what Goggins said about the laundry list of things he got to do, because I think a lot of people might like lose their way or give up on their goal, maybe because they don't celebrate those small wins. They're looking at it so big picture that they can't appreciate how far they came from the beginning. and that's can be really defeating on one if you don't celebrate those small wins as you go through the journey. Because ultimately, you'll look back and appreciate the journey more than you will the end result when you get there.
Yeah. It really just the whole dreams and people are afraid of nightmares, but without nightmares there are no dreams, and you have to learn how to fail. You have to, because without if you're not failing, you're not trying, and that's another reason I feel like people shy away from their dreams. They think about it all the time, and they allow the world to get to them, and then initially once they get their mind right, they're just so fear of failing, especially in this time of, oh, you don't want to have debt or this, that, and the other. Like what else is gonna happen? Like, but there's one quote that Kobe said. He's like, I'm gonna give you the key to life. He's like, why won't you put all your eggs in one basket? And everybody looked around. He's like, for real, why won't you go put all your eggs in one basket? And everybody like, oh, or something like this. It goes something like this. And he was like, why can't you just go out and get more eggs? Like essentially, like, what's gonna happen if you go all in? Is something gonna be wrong? Are you not gonna be able to do something else? Are you not gonna be able to live the next day? Like, essentially, you should be chasing your dreams at all times. And Gary Vee, he said this all the time. He's like, especially when you're established already, and you have that education or you can go to a 9-to-5, but you're chasing something bigger, you're chasing your own business, your own this, your own that. Like, you can easily walk back right into your 9-to-5 or get another 9-to-5, because 9-to-5 is always going to be there. The option's always going to be there. So why not chase something greater than that? Chasing entrepreneurship, your own business, this, that, and the other. And he's really inspired a lot of people to chase what they love and not just chase money.
Yeah, I definitely think on that Kobe thing, it's like you're giving yourself an out if you fail. Like, if you fail, you'll be like, oh, well, I didn't put everything here. Like, I have this, like, on the side that I can fall back on. And it's like giving your mental a way to, get out of it. Yeah, it's giving your mental an excuse to get out of it if things don't always go your way. But, failure, as we've experienced, I'm sure most everyone listening too, like, failure is your biggest teacher. It's a bigger teacher than your wins, because you learn why or what went wrong and why you failed, and you'll be more successful the next time you try it because you'll have that experience.
And I want to get to that, the laundry list, like you said, the laundry list of tasks. A lot of people say, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that, and ignorant to the work. Like, ignorant to, some people will be like, I can't get to that certain point because I just don't know what to do. Like, in this day and age of technology, you have it. It's right in front of you. It's your computer. It's your phone. It's a library. It's a book. And you just got to sit down and read. And like the task thing too, it's a step-by-step process. Don't bite off more than you can chew. If you know you don't have time to read a whole book in one day, then don't put that as one of your tasks. Read a few pages a day or do something per day, or look up a certain article per day and get the knowledge, because it's there. It's right there in front of you. You got your phone. You got everything right there in front of you. Computer, phone, book, whatever you need. And so that's one of the things I got from it. What else did you get from it? Did you get anything else?
That was the main takeaway, I guess. Just, it's a mindset. Everything like we've talked about is a mindset. And if you're willing to be able to put your mind towards it, then if you do your due diligence, you'll ultimately be able to achieve your goals.
What about that? Not making your dream your master, but mastering your dream. And of course, the laundry list goes with that. But what do you think about that? And how people just talk about it?
Definitely something I haven't heard before. That was my first time hearing that. Is not letting your dream become your master. I definitely think in my terms, it'd be like not allowing yourself to get consumed by the dream and understanding that, it is a process, and just because you want it to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. You have to, like he said, when it was like, wake up at 4 a.m., you can't just decide one day you don't want to be a SEAL that day. It takes that dedication and that discipline to even do it on the days when you don't want to, even on the days when you're tired, when it's raining, when it's cold. Just being able to have that discipline to go and attack your goals every day and figure out your plan to achieve it. Finding those little wins that you can get in order to take a step-by-step process to get to your goal.
Most definitely. Yeah, a lot of people like to talk about it, and talk is cheap. And
one more thing, like when they talked about how talking about it and doing the
That
actions
dopamine.
to get it, that dopamine, you get the same thing. And so many people, I see might get so consumed up in talking about it that they get that dopamine, that adrenaline rush from talking about it, that they're already satisfied with that. Like they don't need to go actually do it, because they get that short-term satisfaction of just telling people about it, which I think is kind of crazy to talk about. But like when you really think about it, you see that a lot in the world.
Oh, for sure. Like for this podcast, I was talking about this for a good minute. Probably 4 to 5 months, and finally we sat down and I got the right people in place, and we're doing it. And it's crazy because the dopamine talking about it, but the dopamine, I guess it's the same neurological function or same feedback, but it hits even harder when you actually do it. Like when you talk about it, you get that excitement, but when you actually execute the game plan and you see some, even the tiniest bit of like feedback, you're like, oh wow, this is great. It's just better than what you thought it was going to be. So if you guys out there,
that makes me think of like practice, how like, both of us were high school athletes. Like you didn't want to go to practice every day, but after you left practice, you were like, dang, like I really put in that work today, and like I learned something today, and like it's a good feeling after, even though you might not have wanted to do it before and you still did it. It's a bigger, dopamine spike that you didn't want to do it, but you still did it.
Yeah.
You persevered. You had that discipline.
And let's see, what's the guy? I feel like going back. Sorry to circle back around, but that whole small place in our minds really hit me. And so I was thinking about, I was like, so many of our minds in today, our minds work inside of a vacuum, and a lot of us let in the negativity, but never let in the positivity. We always let in, oh, you can't, or it's too difficult, or you can't do this, or no, that's not going to work. And we let that into the vacuum of our mind, and it doesn't leave. And we never let in the positivity. We never look towards what could happen on the outside of the vacuum. We don't look out, and then essentially we don't look out and see people even doing it or even trying to do it. I met somebody this weekend that said he would join a startup, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I joined a startup, and blah blah blah. I was like, man, like, this is the first time I ever met the dude, and it was just glad to see somebody that was willing to take that risk, and it was glad to see. He was a young guy too, like super young, that got just a couple of certifications for computer coding, and he was in a startup company. He said, we just got our patent in, and yeah, so it was just happy to see somebody willing to take the jump, and somebody that is willing to take the jump, that doesn't operate in a vacuum. Because I see it all the time. People, oh, I just want to do this, or I just want to do that. Like, why don't we take it to the next level? Why don't we think outside the box? And that's a little bit of, I feel like we grow up outside of the vacuum when we're young, and then we move our mind into a vacuum, and then we just operate in there like it's just normal. Like it's normal just to, people have normalized just settling and just being that small-minded person. Um, yes, it's going to take work, and then you're afraid of that too. But we just operate like there. It's just normalized, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do bigger and better, and shoot for the stars. And so, what do you think about that? What do you think about operating inside of a vacuum?
Yeah, I definitely think that it's easy to get caught up in the negativity because you're focused. It's really easy to focus on like why people don't like you or like don't like what you're doing or whatnot when you kind of almost expect like most everyone, or not everyone, but you expect to be liked. Like it's human nature to want to be liked. And so when you don't, or you receive the opposite of that, it's really easy to focus in on that and only let those things in and kind of bypass the positive things because it's almost like you expect that, which I definitely think that leads us to be very unaware, unappreciative of the love that we do receive. Definitely unappreciative of that love because it's almost expected when it shouldn't be. It should be something that you value.
Yeah, definitely. I'm feeling that. Do you think people are more afraid to fail or more afraid of what people have to say? Like are they more afraid of what people will say, or are they more afraid of failure? Or are they more fearful of the work that needs to be put in? The people, the work, or failure?
I think the work. Because I think if you put in the work, you're not afraid to fail.
Okay.
You know, me just saying that reminds me of like we got March Madness going on, and I was just watching FDU play 16 seed that beat Purdue, and like, I mean, easy to say, but they were probably nervous for that game. But I doubt they were afraid. Why? Because they had put in that work. They were a collegiate NCAA team that won their conference, had probably, you know, a tough schedule for them, and they put in that work. And, you know, I don't think they were afraid for that reason because they had been through adversity and they had put in that work all season to be in the spot they were in. So I definitely think people are more afraid of putting in the work than the fear of failing. Because ultimately, if you're going after your dream, going for what you've always wanted, you know, you're not really thinking about failing unless you're just someone that's very anxious or very, I don't know the other word I'm looking for. You think of every possible scenario that could happen. You know, if you're putting in that work and going through it, I don't think that's what's consuming your mind if you're being able to put in that work. But it's human nature to fear what other people will say.
Yeah.
Like, kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like, everyone wants to be liked. It's human nature.
That's right. And, yeah, like you said, if you're, I completely agree with that. I feel like a little bit, it can also be 50-50. People are afraid of the work, but they also, and like you said, people are afraid of what people have to say. But I feel like a lot of people are afraid of what their parents will say. Afraid of being told, "I told you so." But at the same time, like, you can't be afraid of that because once you fail, you fail when you stop trying. So if you fail once and you just take that, "Oh, I told you so," get back up, keep going. Like life is all about failure. As long as you're not failing in the same instance over and over again, you continue to make changes to the code, to the algorithm, and you just keep going at it. Yeah, it's more easier than done, but like I said, once you only fail when you stop trying.
Yeah. And I definitely think with like people being super focused on the opinion of like their inner circle, and if like they really have that much like doubt or naysay against it, like, yeah, they're probably looking out for you, but like, are they looking out for you because they don't think you'll make it? And which goes back to, you know, you just got to prove them wrong if that's the case. If they don't think you can make it, that should just be some extra motivation for you to get it done and put that work in to where you won't fail. Because I promise, once you succeed, they're not going to be, you know, disappointed in you like you thought they would be originally if you succeed. They'd only be disappointed if you didn't.
Mm-hmm. Like when I got into exercise science, my dad, he's big. He's in IT and computer science, and I guess he was excited when I first wanted to do computer science. I still love computer science, and I might go back and get my major at some point in computer science or get some certification so I can pair that with my exercise science. Get a computer science certification to pair it with my exercise science. But I could tell once I chose exercise science, he was kind of disappointed because he wanted his son to be like him and be in computer science. But I was like, I love it. This is what I love to do. And he realized how much I love sports and how much I love that thing. But I'm gonna tell this in all due respect to, like, if you're having a hard time doing it, but this is your life, and you need, and in all due respect, you got fuck you what your parents say. To be honest, like, this is your life. Like, you need find out what you love and do it, no matter what it is, no matter, because it's your life. Your parents can't live for you. You're living for you, and some people like to complain about the money. The money will come, but the love of life and the purpose and the love of your purpose comes before everything, and everything else will come. So that's one thing I just definitely had to say, because people give up on their dreams. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're 40, 50 years down the line and they're still living in that vacuum, they still have dreams about doing all those other things. Like, what if I did this? What if I did that? You don't want those regrets. You don't want those regrets at all. Don't live in that. The pain of regret is far worse than the pain of discipline.
Yeah. But yeah, your parents are, those people in your circle aren't the ones going to that job every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the ones that, have to live the life you're living. So at the end of the day, you got to make decisions that make you happy for where you are in life. And, if down the road that changes and you're not happy with it anymore, you can change jobs, not majors. You can change jobs. You can change careers.
Exactly.
You just got to do whatever makes you happy in the moment, whatever decisions you can live with. Because like you said, if you're living with that regret, you'll never forget that. That will burn a hole in you, all those what ifs.
For real. I don't know where the list is. I'm gonna try to find it real quick here, but again, I found a list on the internet that people that were not successful until very late in their life. And one of them was we got Stan Lee. He wasn't successful until it says 39, until he had his first comic book come out when he was 39 years old. And if you guys didn't know that, he's the guy that is for all the Marvel and all that stuff. You got Bob Ross. Yeah. He spent 20 years in the U.S. Air Force and became everyone's favorite painting teacher at age 41. You got Samuel L. Jackson, 46. Morgan Freeman, 50. Steve Carell, 43. So, like, you got time. You got time to chase your dreams. You can always go back to that 9 to 5. Again, you can always go back to that 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that 9 to 5. But you gotta be out here. You gotta be out here looking for more, chasing those dreams, and stay the journey. Stay the journey, because it can get long, it can get lonely, it can get desperate. But if you're loving it, it doesn't matter. The money will come soon. The money will definitely come soon. And those people will tell you right there that the money will come, because those people are rich right there. And let's see. Last but not least, yeah, we talked about that. Yep. And so, actually, can a dream change? Because I know people like come halfway down the road and and then say, oh, I don't like this, or I'm not sure. Can the dream change? What has any of your dreams changed before from when you were a little kid until now?
Yeah, I definitely think, dreams can change. The dream is ultimately to each individual whatever their reality of happiness is. Whatever they look like. No one dreams things that they wouldn't be happy accomplishing. So as we get older and as you mature, as you might move circumstances, those dreams can obviously change. And I definitely think, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And they can also change for the better or for the worse. You could change your dream to lower your expectations when, maybe if you stayed the course, you would have ultimately reached that dream. But I definitely think wherever you might think your happiness lies, that's where you can dream to be.
I can. Yeah. Definitely, your dream can change, and don't be afraid to just do something. Because halfway down the road, I think Jordan Peterson said this: pick something and do it. And halfway down the road, you can easily change halfway down that road, you can, like, if you go to a job that you don't like doing, halfway doing that job, you might meet somebody that might point you in the right direction. And so doing that wrong thing that was quote unquote wrong or not what you wanted to do or not your initial dream might lead you to your dream. And so, so just pick something, do it, keep grinding out here. So we hope you enjoyed this version of the Open Tap podcast, the breakdown. If you guys have any clips or anything, any reels, clips, TikToks, whatever, that you guys want us to bring on here and talk about, just DM us. Again, it's all love. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Open Tap podcast. My name is Mo. Of course, this is Cam with me, and we will see y'all next time.
Appreciate it.